Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we're back here on MotoGP 25, but as promised, I've gone through the comments of the previous videos, the preview build videos and the videos on the full game. I've put some together and I'm going to show you off the things that you, the viewers, want to see. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the first comment. So the first comment we've got is from Combo James, and he asks to see Balaton Park. Now, I actually did a full video on Balaton Park. My last one was just a gameplay video as Al de Guerre at Balaton Park. Quite a fun circuit, I must say. It is quite a fun circuit. Probably a little bit of gameplay in the background from that video, but if you want to see the full thing, go check that one out. It's a 3-lap race, so you'll get to see the whole thing. I did do a video on Balaton Park on GP bikes when it first got announced that they were going there. It's a little bit different to that, actually. There is a few layout changes. There's a chicane added in the sort of the back, well, say the back straight, sort of the big sort of curve that took you into a chicane at the end of the straight. There's been another one added, and the last sector is completely different. And of course, playing it with the Milestone handling model, shall we say, really does make it feel quite different. Unfortunately, the AI seemed a little bit weird there. They're running wide at turn 1, for example, quite a lot. We'll come back to the AI in a little bit because someone has asked about that. But yeah, quite a fun circuit, but not as good as the version that it was before. Unfortunately, they had to make the changes, I guess, for safety, but I think the track has suffered from it. That one was pretty quick, and I think this one will be as well, unfortunately. We've got Motogame Vlogs asking here, can you show any historical tracks like Balaton Park and Estoril? And unfortunately, I can't, because they're gone. They don't exist anymore. You can see we've got the track selection screen here. They're not on there. We only have the current 2025 tracks, which is a shame. It really is a shame. Obviously, it's not really Milestone's fault. It'll probably be some sort of licensing problem. They probably licensed Balaton Park and Estoril and Indianapolis and all the other ones they brought back for the 2009 season mode for a couple of years or something, and the license probably ran out now, so they probably can't put it in any more games. And also, I do wonder how much these tracks get played. I think that a lot when it comes up with game ideas like, oh, can we have more historic bikes, can we have more historic tracks, like, and that's really cool, and I think we all like to see that. We like to have the option there, but I think it kind of shows that most people don't use them very much. They'll play them a couple of times over the course of the game cycle, but it's not something they're playing every day. Everyone's playing the current day MotoGP class most of the time, so I guess that's why you see things like that. But yeah, it's definitely a shame, and sorry to disappoint you, but that's the result. So then the next comment we've got is from Vaughn's World, and this one's actually split into 2 parts. So I'm going to address the top speed test part of this first. So I have done a top speed test on all of the MotoGP bikes. The way I did that test is I went to Aragon, went to time trial, just went straight to track, and the AI basically takes over. So it rides you through the chicane, all the way up the gears down the straight as well. And from there, all I had to do was just hold the accelerator and then just ram into the barrier, basically. And I'm sure I'll have some footage of me doing that in the background. And I did that for each bike, so I did it for both of the different Ducatis, so the GP24 and the GP25, and then just once for all of the factory bikes of the other manufacturers. Results for that were pretty interesting. I'll put them up on the screen now and sort of read through them. It seems realistic to me that KTM are top, because that seems to be how it is in real life. Honda being tied with them is a little bit of a surprise, because their top speed's not bad, but it was definitely something last year in particular they were struggling with a bit, and this year, you know, they're a little bit down as some KTM. I wouldn't say that they're the same. Then you get the 2 Ducatis, so 344 for the GP25 and then 343 for the GP24. You would probably expect to see very little difference between those. And then you actually have probably the strange result, because you'd expect the inline 4 Yamaha to be at the bottom, but that actually has the same speed as the GP24 and is faster than the Aprilia by 1 kilometer an hour. So not quite sure how that one came about. A little bit strange, but it does seem like all the bikes are pretty close. So if you want to play on the Yamaha or the Aprilia, it doesn't look like you're going to be at a massive disadvantage, but yeah, seems weird. Obviously, this test as well only really tests the total top speed and also with the stock setting. So you could probably get more out of the bike if you extended 6th gear a little bit more. So hopefully that does address what was asked. Obviously, that's just ultimate top speed, because I guess speed test rather than an acceleration test. Now, the next part of the first part of the comment, I guess it was, but it's kind of easier to do this second, was about the curbs. And I'm going to maybe tie that a little bit together with the AI, because we have another comment here from the Doodlebug. Could you please show if the AI has improved since the preview? And then they said they're personally not buying it until they see proof of significant improvements in this area. And you might think, why am I sort of linking these two together? Well, I've got some great clips to demonstrate here. I tried out the curbs at a couple of trucks just as I was I did a few races basically for this video, really, to try cover as many bases as I could. And the curbs do seem still pretty broken. You kind of get stuck on them quite a bit. You really get chucked around by them. Obviously, don't get me wrong, they're not SPK22 level, but they're not that bad. They're probably similar to MotoGP 24. They're probably not really any different in terms of the way the curves behave, but you can see here the AI are just pretty stupid. There was a corner at Portimao, which has probably been in the background of some of the shots here, where they were just all crashing, basically, at, I think, turn 3. They were just absolutely going over the curb at, like, full lean. It was chucking them off, and down they went. I also deliberately tried Misano, because I believe this was a comment on the video that I did where I played Misano in the preview build, and the AI were crashing everywhere in that video. The last corner, turn 2, at Rio, they were crashing, and it did seem improved. I definitely will say that, but they were still crashing at the same corner, some of them. Marc Marquez crashed like 2 or 3 times in this race. That's just annoying when that happens, because that's going to happen to people in career mode and stuff, and let's be honest, if it's happening to someone like Marc Marquez, that's going to be your championship rival, most likely, if you're battling towards the front. So that's going to be like a free just load of points because the AI just clattered the curb. Like, it could happen to any of the AI, of course, but I'm just saying it could be the guy you're battling for the championship. And yeah, okay, it's kind of realistic they maybe have a crash or something over the course of the season, but when they're clipping the curb like every 2 or 3 laps, it's a little bit silly. As I kind of mentioned earlier with the Balaton Park point as well, they were kind of running wide at turn 1 there. They were sort of ramming into turn 2. And yeah, it's unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they have improved. Pace doesn't seem too bad, and obviously with the flat track stuff, they did seem quite good. But yeah, I'm not seeing an improvement over 24, certainly. Definitely an improvement over the preview, though. They definitely are better than the preview build, but they weren't trained properly in the preview build, whereas they now are, so you would kind of expect to see that. So the next comment we've got here is Lord of Nom Nom, and again, asking about the AI here, but we'll skip over that part because we have just answered that with the AI. Obviously, they were worked on a little bit more before released. But could I show Portugal, especially turn 5? As in last year's game, it was so strange and you couldn't turn. I think I know what he's getting at there. It's the where you can't really turn anymore through there. A little bit like that through turn 10 at Catalonia as well. And it did seem better. It did seem better. I don't think it's fixed completely. I have some footage of the AI as well, sort of struggling to turn a bit through there. You can kind of see, but I think it seemed better. I didn't feel like I was understeering quite as much. I think it's hard to tell until you're like really on the limit and you're looking for that bit of lap time and it starts to frustrate you a little bit. But yeah, I think it did seem better. And the final comment we've got here then is from Tracy. And first thing they say is Le Mans or Portimao. Well, I've shown a little bit of Portimao in this video, so hopefully that does kind of address that one. Haven't shown off any Le Mans, but I'm sure we'll get to that at some point. But the main reason I picked this comment out was to see if the Moto2 grip thing was because it was a speed up and not a Calyx. So for those that didn't see that preview build video, basically I did races in all the categories, and when I did Moto2, I was on the Boscoscuro, and it seemed like there was so much grip. The bike was really, really grippy. It was hooking up. It wasn't spinning or anything, which in the previous games, Moto2 bikes did spin quite a lot because they had no electronic aids, but the edge grip as well seemed phenomenal. Tracy made a good point in their comment that was because it was the Boscoscuro, because obviously we saw last year in real life that the Boscoscuro was probably better on the Pirelli tyres, was a bit more nimble in some aspects. So I decided to hop on. I tried the Calyx out, and it was the same. It was the exact same. So it does seem like overall the game is really grippy, and I didn't notice it maybe at first when I first played it. I kind of took it more for smoothness and refinement, but yeah, overall there's quite a lot of grip. I do feel like that's going to be probably the theme of this game. The lap times are going to be really, really quick because there is just a lot of grip. You can brake quite deep, which is fun. It's not super realistic, but the MotoGP game isn't really very realistic. It never has been. So I'd kind of rather it be fun to play. Obviously, the MotoGP game isn't a sim at the end of the day, so it's never going to be that hard if you want to sim GP bikes is the way to go. I mean, the amount of hours I've put into that game is ridiculous. But it definitely did seem that Moto2 in particular, that really, really was quite grippy. But there you go then, guys. Those were some of the best comments I picked out for the preview build videos and the previous videos. I could very well do this again. So let me know, guys, if there is specific things you want to see, because I know especially at this point of the game cycle, people are still deciding if they want to buy it. If they want to wait for a sale, they want to find some stuff about it. So let me know in the comments below. But hopefully you guys did enjoy that video. If you are new to the channel, please do like the video and subscribe because it really helps me out. And of course, it's a win-win for both of us, as you get some more MotoGP 25 content in your subscription feed. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one.